Now, where were we? Ah, that's right. After arriving in Airjanine, Glimki Treefellow quickly discovered that not all was well in the great city. Not only was the Princess Callista Galtries missing, but the streets were perilously narrow, a lesson he learned firsthand. After getting run over, Glimki was introduced to Faunalyn Vaydark and Clay Campbell, and although the three of them came from very different backgrounds, it would seem they have a mutual interest in finding the missing princess. The three made a plan to meet in one of the upper districts of the city, the Sapphire District, later that night to share what they knew. Getting there proved difficult, as Clay and Glimki had to convince a guard named Reggie to allow them into the sewers. But eventually, they found Lady Faunalyn's residence, and the three met in a gnomish hedge maze. Clay shared that she had helped move a human-shaped package out of the city on the night the princess disappeared, and her associate stole a ring with the symbol of an owlbear from their employer. These two strangers made a pact that night, sealed with blood to work together and find the missing royal. Their first step was to visit a few of Clay's associates, residents of the Copper District, for more information. They traveled there and found a desolate shack that this group uses as a hideout, and in a sudden puff of shadow, a cloaked figure put a finger. A finger? No. Something much sharper, I fear. A dagger to Faunalyn's throat, and demanded they identify themselves.
You already said all that.
Ah, did I? Apologies. On with the story, then.
Come gather round, travelers, and sit on the stoop. We'll tell you a story about Bard Soup. Three lovable scamps in our traveling troupe. We'll tell you a story about Bard Soup.
It's super time. Hello and welcome back to Bard Soup. If you're here for the third episode, that means you're 3 years old and you're almost ready for pre-K, and we thank you. Coming in with some fun educational information. I am your dungeon master, Zach Meikle, and I am joined today by three big ol' loaves of celery. Prima.
Hello. I'm Prima, and I play Clay Campbell, a suspicious tiefling cleric.
Amazing.
So you have to keep listening to find out more, I guess.
Yeah, you better. If you're here, you better stay through this intro. I'm joined by big ol' quiche of celery, Jordan.
I'm Jordan, and I play Glimki Treefellow, a traveling tree gnome finding himself far away from home.
Did you write a poem for this?
I did just now, right?
Gosh damn. And I am joined by that little bit of celery at the end of the piece, Shannon.
I'm
leftovers.
the celery nub. I'm the inedible part of the celery.
The whole celery's edible.
Damn. I'm Shannon. I play Faunalyn Vaydark, and I want to see if I can come up with a poem on the fly. She's a spicy elf. Don't leave her on the shelf.
Oh,
Sorry.
nice.
Sorry,
No,
guys.
that's good.
Oh, thanks.
We rejoin our three would-be heroes in this moment. Faunalyn, you have this dagger to your throat. There's this cloaked figure in front of you, and a feminine voice speaks out for a second time and says, "Who are you?"
Clay, is this one of your vagabond friends? Is it?
Give me a perception roll, Clay.
And do it quickly, because I'm about to fucking die.
19 plus what's perception? 3. So, yeah.
A big old juicy 22. Yeah, with a 22, this person is wearing this kind of this dark cloak that kind of wraps around them. You see they've got this hood up, but through the hood, the bits of the face that you can see, you recognize this as Unaceris Silphian, also known as Una.
Una, stop! It's me. They're with me.
The person looks over at you and immediately pulls the dagger back and says, "Oh, hey Clay. Sorry about that. It's been a weird night.
You too?
You shouldn't come in here unannounced like that. That's could have killed your friend here. Hey, why are you bringing strangers around?" And from kind of off to the side, the three of you are kind of just in the doorway. You've kind of just entered this building when a knife was pulled on you. You glance over, or you hear rather, from kind of off to the side, this voice say, "Yeah, why are you here?" And you recognize the voice is that of Riggs Tremblay.
Oh, Riggs, I was looking for you. We need to talk.
The two of you, Glimki and Faunalyn, you look over and, like I said, the first person with the dagger kind of pulls their hood back. You look over to the side, you see a human man in his probably late 30s. He's got a shaved head. One arm is covered in tattoos, and the other one is in a sling. And you see that propped up in the sling and kind of supported by the tattooed arm is a heavy crossbow that he is aiming at you. The other person, Faunalyn, you recognize some very elven features on this individual, kind of like the sharp, angular features that you are accustomed to seeing. She is a woman in her early 30s. She's got this spiky, bleach blonde hair, but you notice that the tips of her ears do not have the characteristic point of an elf. And as she's looking at you, you see that her eyes are just black. There's no... there's whites, there's like whites to her eyes, but her irises are just pure jet black shadow.
Cool.
And yeah, the male individual, Riggs, he says, "Yeah, might not be a bad idea." And he kind of lowers the crossbow and puts it down, leans it up against this ratty couch full of tears with stuffing poking out. "Take a seat."
I prefer to stand.
Yes, I would also prefer to stand, and I hate to be rude, I would question why you wouldn't just lock the door instead of standing beside the door and holding a knife to whoever comes through it, but, perhaps that's just my educational background speaking. I went to school, you see, and I'm assuming no one else here did.
The woman, she says, "Oh, I wasn't standing by the door," and then with like this bamf, she just disappears in a sudden cloud of shadow, kind of swarms over her, and she reappears behind this bar, and she grabs one of the liquor bottles and pours it into a glass. Yeah, I was actually over here fixing myself a drink when you came in." As you are talking to her, you notice, and this is something, Clay, she has not blinked once since you've started talking to her.
Right.
Her eyes are just like wide open, unblinking the entire time.
She's kind of freaking me out.
Oh, she's nice.
Okay. We'll see.
I think she almost let my blood 2 minutes ago, so I'm not entirely convinced by the she's nice argument, but I will try to keep an open mind.
If you're not going to take a seat, at least close the door, would you?
That's fair.
I close the door and I go sit down.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go sit down.
I will continue to stand.
Perfect. So the human man, Riggs, he looks at you, Clay, and says, "It's good to see you, but who are your friends? Why'd you bring them here?"
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. You don't have to introduce us, Clay. I'm pleasure to meet you, Riggs, and I put my hand out, expecting a handshake.
He looks at your hand, makes no move to like cross the distance between you, and kind of just continues to stare at you deadpan.
Okay. Okay. I'm Glimki. I'm a friend of Clay's here. Clay has had a pretty big realization. Come to, have some heavy, I wouldn't say guilt.
Yeah.
Okay, guilt, and I thought we could help out here. She thinks that you might be able to help us find a missing someone.
Anybody who wants, make a insight check.
12.
I got 10.
Oh, jeez, I got 9.
Wow.
Yeah, we did really, really good.
Faunalyn and Clay, you see it's barely perceptible, but you see as you mention a missing person, he stiffens ever so slightly before he relaxes. He says, "Yeah, that's ain't that a bitch, huh?"
It is, but I think that there's an opportunity here where we could all work together, right? And I look around the room. If we, work together to find this person.
Yeah, about that. Clay, you told them everything, huh?
I did. Did you know it was the princess before we took the job? Did you know?
No, I didn't know it was the princess. No, I was hired to get a package out of the city, is how it was put.
That's what I thought. How did you hear about this job again? Can you tell me everything about how you got wind of this job?
He kind of reaches over to his arm that's in the sling and kind of adjusts it slightly, repositions it. I think the less said, the better.
No, I think you should say more.
Well, Riggs, if you're anything like Clay, and I imagine that you are, you're probably feeling a right amount of guilt as well. We can right this wrong.
Guilt ain't exactly the word for it. And from behind the bar, Una speaks up and she says, yeah, because if we actually did help kidnap the princess, then we're dead. Simple as that. We will lose our heads. And I don't think any amount of finding the princess will make the king change his mind about our involvement, should he learn about it. So I think the less said about any of this, the better. And she kind of finishes her drink and walks over to this little like pack that is kind of half filled with clothing and various items, and she starts throwing some skirts and a pair of shoes in there and says, I'm thinking I'm gonna leave probably tonight, just until things calm down a bit.
Well, wait, hold on.
You don't seem like the type to have spent much time with nobles. He looks over at you, Faunalyn, and says, now tell me honest, if you were the king and your only child and heir to the throne went missing, and someone dressed like me walks in and says, I think I kidnapped your daughter, but I brought her back, do you think that would be any offers of a prize or reward would be honored? Or do you think my head would be on a pike before the sun appeared in the sky?
Oh, no, certainly not. I think that, quite frankly, you have the option of getting out of Dodge or dying. Now, the question really is, if you're going to be getting out of Dodge, are you going to do it unimpeded, or will you be pursued by the full armor of the King's Guard? Because it would be just dreadful if the information about your involvement got out. And I do think you would rather be pursued if it did. And unfortunately, there seem to be rather a handful of people who know for a fact about your involvement, some of whom are, well, quite reputable. Hi, Lady Vaydark. Pleased to meet your acquaintance. Now, let's say you tell us what you know. I think that we could come to an agreement regarding your sort of slipping through the city unnoticed. In fact, I'd be happy to speak to the guards, if it came to it, aid in any way that I can with my considerable resources. But let's say you continue to be cagey and not disclose the things that you clearly know. Well, I think we'd be looking at rather a different situation. Do you take my meaning?
Give me an intimidation check.
Yup. Straight up threats. Can I get advantage because I did it so eloquently?
No.
Damn! Can I get advantage if Glimki or Clay slightly nod behind me?
No.
Okay, whoa, shit, I have a +5 to intimidation. That's a 16.
That tracks.
I'm a scary bitch.
He tenses once again and kind of glances over at the crossbow that's propped up against the couch. He says, an interesting proposition. Now, alternatively, me and Una here could kill you and leave the city tonight, and nobody would be looking for us whatsoever. That's an alternative thought.
But don't you want to know who really did it?
Can't say that I'm particularly interested.
They screwed us over. We have to fix this. We have to do the right thing and find the princess.
I mean, the way I see it, they paid us for a job. The job is kind of a problem, admittedly, but they paid us. They upheld their end of the bargain. It just so happens that the bargain may have been more than we bargained for. Una kind of walks over and she leans in close and whispers something in his ear. If anyone's trying to eavesdrop, they may make a perception check.
Yes.
Now, I would, if they're doing that while this is happening, I'd like to just kind of try to move myself between my friends and these people slightly.
Yeah.
Friends?
Ooh.
I mean,
Aw.
these people aren't my friends. That's for sure.
It's relative.
I got a 21 for eavesdropping.
Ooh.
Nice. You hear Una say, but what about Patrick? We shouldn't leave until we're able to find him. Do you say anything, Clay, to indicate that you heard what she said?
Yeah, I'm like, where's Patrick?
Riggs shoots her just a piercing look, and it's still dark in here, but you can tell she's kind of blushing a little bit. She says, I don't know. We haven't seen him since yesterday, and yeah, I don't know. I'm worried. I think someone's been following me, and I don't know. I've been keeping to the shadows, and I haven't seen anyone. I've kind of looked around and I haven't seen anybody, but I kind of feel like the eyes on the back of my head sort of thing, and I don't like that. And yeah, Patrick is gone, and I'm just a little worried about him. Riggs kind of cuts her off and says, "Tell you what, you can keep your posturing to yourself, and you don't need to run to the authorities. You track down Patrick. I'll tell you everything I know about this job." How's that sound?
Of course. Patrick might know something.
Well, how do we know you won't skip town?
Every thief has a code, and promise I won't leave until you come back with Patrick or till Nova.
Okay.
Why don't you come with us to find Patrick?
He gestures to his arm that's in the sling and says, "Afraid I'm not much good in a fight right now, and frankly, I got some packing to do."
Can I cast a healing on him to fix his arm?
You could. I think you would know that a mere cure wounds would not be sufficient to repair a broken bone. You've talked to him about this
Right.
this injury, and so you know that his arm is broken, and it would probably take something a little stronger, like a lesser restoration type spell, to speed up that natural healing process.
Fair enough. Okay, well, I mean, when was the last time you saw him? Who and what does he look like?
And who's Patrick?
His name's Patrick. We call him Patrick Fasthands. He is, I don't know, he's part of the crew. He plays the mandolin. Well, he does a good job on this, well, in our line of work, but really he just wants to be a musician, travel around, play in different cities. But yeah, he's, I don't know, about yay high, and he's got ginger hair and the most freckles I've ever seen on anybody. Yeah, he's a real sweetie.
And the last time you saw him was how long ago?
We saw him yesterday morning, and
Here?
yeah, she kind of glances at Riggs and then back to the three of you and says, "After the job, the three of us anyway, crashed here for the night, and then the next day he said he was going to use his cut from the job to buy a new mandolin, and then I think he was going to try and find a place where he could do a show, a tavern, I think."
Did he have any place that he performed regularly?
Yeah, what was it? I think he was a big fan of the flask, and he looks at you, Glimki, and says, "The tungsten flask. It's not far from here. It's still in the Silver District." And I know he also was a fan of the Anchor's Beard Inn. I think those were his two kind of his haunts, so to speak. And Una speaks up once more and says, "And I think he got his instruments tended to or cared for. I don't do instruments. Someplace it was saws or something saw. I don't know the exact name, but maybe that would help. I don't know."
Have I ever heard of any of these places?
I would say Clay and Faunalyn, you can both make a general intelligence check to see if you've heard of any of these. Glimki, given you just arrived in the city, you wouldn't know.
Oh no, I write on a notepad and then I rip the pad out and I slap it into Clay's chest and write, all right, find these things.
I rolled an 8. I got an 8 on my intelligence. So
I rolled a 5.
An 8 and a 5. Okay. Yeah. A place.
You guys have a
called
washroom?
Yeah. And he gestures towards a door, kind of past the bar.
Okay. I walk towards it.
Perfect. Do you go inside?
Yep.
Okay. And I feel like I need to ask, what you doing in the bathroom, bud?
describe your business.
Okay.
Little number 1, little number 2, little something clandestine. What's going on?
Hard solids, soft liquids, what's going on?
Haven't had much fiber since you got to Erdenine.
Is there a mirror in here?
Yeah, there's a dirty, cracked mirror and a chamber pot on the floor.
Okay, perfect. I can imagine that this man's Patrick is a clever one since he plays an instrument and has fast hands. I don't know. I'm gonna write a note on my little notepad.
Okay.
I'd like to somehow fix it to the back of the mirror.
Sure.
In case, I don't know, maybe he does mirror performances. And I'm gonna write, "They're selling you out. Call or come find me, Clay."
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Behind the mirror?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you leaving like a little bit of paper sticking out so...
Yeah,
you
sure.
see? Okay.
Yeah, tiny little edge.
See, I feel like there's a strategy, but Shannon doesn't know what it is, so it really just seems like Jordan is being messy, and I love that.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna come back to bite us.
Yeah.
No.
The second someone who's not him finds it.
No.
They'll be like, what the fuck is this?
Let's hope no one else takes any poops today.
Well, I mean, it's kind of ambiguous. It doesn't say who it's directed to, so any of the other people that may be worried.
Just all 3 of them show up.
So while you're doing that, Clay and Faunalyn, you don't recognize any of these names. You have been mostly to private engagements, a lot of meals cooked within the Berthold estate by their personal chef. You have not gone to either of these pubs and saw or whatever the actual name of this instrument shop. You don't recognize it. Clay, I would say you had a 9?
I think 8 because my intelligence is -1.
Excellent. With an 8, and as just like someone who spent many years in Erdenine, you are aware of these 2 taverns. Actually, I would say you can make your roll with advantage just because you are a local.
So I get to roll again?
Yeah.
I rolled worse.
So with an 8, you are aware of these 2 pubs. You've maybe even been to them after a job or just hanging out. And in regards to the music shop, you remember Patrick mentioning a place that he goes to and you think it's in the Gold District, but the actual name of it you don't recognize, or you can't infer what the actual name of it or where it is. You think he mentioned a place in the Gold District at one point when talking about after the job what he was going to do with his money.
Okay.
Is Glimki back from the toilet yet?
Sure.
Glimki, how long do you spend in the bathroom?
Not that long.
Do you flush? I guess there's no flushing.
I throw the bucket out the window, I guess.
Perfect.
I don't know how it works.
Yeah, there's a clang and then a screeching alley cat and then a guy saying, "Hey, what's the big idea?" And then you walk back out into the common area.
That was suspiciously fast. Anyway, I'm wondering if we shouldn't split up since there's 3 locations and we only have till Nova, or would we rather stick together?
I don't know where anything is, so I would like to
Neither do
maybe, if
I.
we're going to split up, I go with Clay.
I was going to say I go with Clay, but I guess you can go with Clay, and I can go with Una.
You guys can both come with me.
Well, this is what I was thinking.
Yeah, honestly, I could take Riggs.
He can walk, can't he?
Once again, I'll be staying here. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay, and spooky one behind the bar. Will you be coming with us? I see no reason why you shouldn't. You seem perfectly able-bodied.
Oh, I'm very able-bodied, but I am packing because I plan to leave the city at sunup, if you recall, and or Nova. And I still have to pack quite a few things, and I was going to swing by my old place maybe, and say goodbye. That's none of your business. And yeah, so I don't think I will be coming. She looks to you, Clay, and says, "I think you should stick together, though. I'm nervous."
Are you gonna leave without Patrick if we don't find him tonight?
Yeah, I mean, if he's gone, then maybe he's just left ahead of us. He might have gone a head start, and I don't blame him. I mean, things are kind of messed up right now, and I think we're to blame. So, yeah, if you can't find him tonight, I think we're just gonna have to go and wait for this all to blow over, and we'll see you when we get back. You could come with us if you want, but I know you kind of just got that thing at the Artist Guild, and I'm really, really proud of you, by the way. That's really amazing. But yeah, I just gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Yeah, I guess. Is it all right if we come find you if you do end up leaving?
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, if you're back by Nova, then we can say goodbye in person, and yeah, well, you can definitely come find me anytime. And she kind of bamps in front of you and gives you a big hug.
I hug her back, like bear hug.
She's trembling a little bit. You can tell she's really freaked out by everything that's gone on in the last couple days.
Yeah, so is Clay.
Yeah.
Well, shall we head out to the 3 locations?
Yes, let's go find Patrick.
Excellent. I'm just going to run to the loo. Do you mind if I just meet you both outside by the door? I'll be right out.
Yeah, it's over by in the bar.
Yeah, it's right by the bar.
Okay, that's phenomenal. Thank you. Do Clay and Glimki leave at this point?
Like, just waiting by the door, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like I start going towards the bathroom, and I'm waiting to see if they're gonna step outside as I suggested, and when they don't, I'm like, okay, I was too subtle. That's on me. I was too subtle, and that's something that happens very often with me. Listen, I didn't want to do this in front of Clay, but if you 2 hooligans leave this city without giving us the information you need, let me just say, you're frankly lucky that we're engaging in this little song and dance running after your little friend. But if you 2 leave the city without telling us what you know, so help me God, I will use every resource at my advantage to chase you down and drag you to the king. So Clay wants to be nice.
I grab her arm and pull her out of the room. Let's go find Patrick.
Yeah, you are dragged out into the dark of, just after midnight. Yeah, Riggs and Una don't respond to your threat, but you're kind of dragged out before you can kind of really see what their reaction is.
Do I get to roll intimidation on my way out?
Sure.
Yeah. Come on, high roll. Ooh, that's going to be a 15.
Okay. You don't have a chance to see what their reaction is, but you feel like you made your point pretty convincingly.
Yes, I am famously succinct.
So you step out into the late night air. Where do you wish to go?
The
tungsten flask.
That's the only one I managed to write down.
Oh, I got them all.
There's
We're
also
good.
the Anchor's Beard Inn and Something Saw. I don't know.
Something saw or saws something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there anyone around in the street?
It's pretty late, like it is after midnight.
Oh my goodness. We don't have that many hours till Nova.
No, you got maybe 8 hours tops.
Oh man. Okay.
The bird can be a little unpredictable, so maybe it'll sleep in.
Would he be at any of these places in the middle of the night, though? We should have asked where his house is.
Well, hold on. It's funny that you bring that up because I was going to suggest another course of action.
Mm-hmm.
So, my sister read a book once and told me about it. It was called The Cleric and the Rogue. They were two unlikely friends that, despite their differences, had to work together with different means of approaching a task. And I think we may consider a roguish approach to this. She said that she had to go visit someone before she left. Why don't we just
Tell her.
figure out who it is? I mean, what are the chances, like you said, that Patrick's even at one of these two places? I think the rogue in me is saying that perhaps we can just follow her to some information.
First of all, this book sounds frankly ridiculous. I've never heard of a cleric and a rogue being friends. It seems impossible.
Well,
But
that's what I said.
beyond But beyond that, I do think there could be some merit to your approach. We agree that these two are deeply suspicious. Apologies, Clay, but so strange.
Yeah, and she did say that she thought that someone was following her, so what if there was?
Ooh.
What if we find who's following her? Because they might know where Patrick went.
Yes. And then we interrogate that person and we make them tell us where Patrick is. We use torture if necessary.
Hot damn. We're on an adventure, aren't we?
I think we're on an adventure! I have goosebumps, do you see?
Me too.
Can I do a perception check or something? See if there's anyone around that's like looking at the hideout location?
Sure, give me a perception roll.
13.
Yeah, kind of on the corner, you see someone just like sleeping. They're kind of like have a ratty blanket pulled over them, and they seem to be sleeping. But no one else appears to be out and about on this particular street. You would know that the Copper District has a pretty unsavory reputation, and those that can avoid navigating it by night prefer to do so.
Nice.
Nice. So I mean, we could just find a nice hiding spot, get some eyes on the door here, and wait till she leaves. There's no other exit, is there, Clay?
Is there another exit? Do I know?
There is. You know that there is a hidden trapdoor.
Oh, damn it. Is it in the washroom?
It is not in the washroom. You would know that there's a hidden trapdoor kind of behind the bar that is used in case of emergencies. In case, while it's never happened while you've been there, because why would the guards come knocking upon your friend's, hideout or hangout? You are aware, like, it was pointed out to you after, like, the first couple jobs that should you ever need to make a hasty escape, then you can go out through there.
Okay. I say, you guys watch this exit. I'll go watch the other one. And just,
Deal.
whistle if someone comes out, I guess. Where does the trapdoor lead out to?
It leads into the back alley.
Okay, I go wait next to that door.
Yeah, we need a good signal.
Should we whistle a particular tune, or should we just sort of,
Could just shout rumpus.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Or we could make sort of a street noise, something you might hear in the street, like if someone could make the noise of like a trash can being knocked over,
Well,
or
that would probably alarm the
dog
person.
fight or something.
Bucket of shit hitting the cobblestones.
Well, I mean, I could use, if I see somebody, I could use some minor illusion here to make some sort of clattering sound of some kind.
Ooh, that's good. I like
Or
that.
I could make a drum, or maybe a certain whistle or something.
We can get creative with it.
And then Clay, if you see something,
I have thaumaturgy.
hey, all right, perfect. A couple magic pals.
Yeah.
Yes, magic pals. We're all magic pals.
I like it better than the Rumpus group or whatever. Rumpus
The
Pact.
rump trio.
Rump trio, yes.
Sounds like a bad Pokemon.
I'm imagining Doug trio, but instead of like faces,
It's
it's little
just
bums
rump.
coming out of the ground.
3 butts. Could I get 3 stealth checks? One from each?
Yes.
Oh no, I'm not good at stealth.
Oh, come on, no. That was not good.
Well, I got a 15.
Nice. I got a 3.
Excellent.
I got an 8.
An 8. Okay.
Yep.
Even if I purposefully try to be extra stealthy.
Yeah.
Dang it. What if you just let me be stealthy?
Come on, Zach.
The one thing paladins are bad at.
Yeah.
My apologies.
Yeah, I'm just crouching down. My armor plates are scratching together.
So Faunalyn and Glimki, the two of you kind of post up in an alleyway. There's, a pile of like trash that hasn't been cleared away. It smells awful, but you kind of crouch down next to it. Occasionally, one of you kind of gags a bit, undercutting. I guess it would be Glimki with based off the rolls, a 15 versus a 3. Every once in a while, Glimki, you retch a little bit. You are not accustomed to such a foul stench.
Good lord, Glimki, get it together.
The trash indwells smells like cinnamon and nutmeg, and this is neither cinnamon nor nutmeg.
Even in the woods, we bring our compost a fair distance away.
Wells has a rather advanced garbage collection service that apparently is lacking in this part of Erdenine. Clay, you go to the back alley, and after about 45 minutes, maybe even an hour has passed, you see that there's this stack of crates, and you see the lid on one of the crates opens up, and Una pulls herself out of it, and she kind of gently places the lid back down and starts to walk down the alley. And as you do, you're kind of like, oh, that's where that leads, and you kind of mouth it to yourself, and she looks over and she locks eyes on you and says, Clay, what are you doing?
Una,
Yeah. Hi.
come here.
Okay.
Yes, this is a good play.
And she walks over to you, says, hey, everything going all right? Have you found anything yet?
No,
You haven't been sitting out here the whole time, have you?
no, of course not. We can't find Patrick. We were just wondering, like, I know my friends come on a little strong, but you said you were being watched earlier.
Yeah, I mean, at least I think so. You know, I didn't see anyone, like I said, but kind of a general feeling of it.
Yeah. When did it start? Did it start after the job?
Yeah, I'd say it started kind of last night was the first time I noticed. I went out for a drink, and then as I was coming back to the hideout, kind of felt like someone was watching me, and I looked around and didn't see anything. And then earlier today, I went out to get groceries, and I was in the market and just had the same feeling. Haven't been able to shake it really.
Do you think they might have been watching Patrick as well?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I hope not. It's not good timing, you know.
Yeah.
Can't help but feel like it's related, you know. I can't believe it's coincidence.
Do you think they could be watching me?
It's possible. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you were if it's related to the job, you were a late addition, right? Like Welf and Moonderek were supposed to be on the job, but you know, as you know, they went off to do that other thing. So it's possible they don't know about you just because you weren't part of the original crew, but I mean, I wouldn't count on that necessarily.
I feel like it's not safe for you to go out when you're being watched. Are you going out to say goodbye?
She sighs and says, yeah, I was gonna go see Vanna one more time. I know we broke up, but I feel like it'd be weird if I left without saying goodbye. You know, I was kind of hoping we could patch things up, and if I leave, then I won't really have the chance to do that for a while. So I just wanted to tell her how I felt before I left, you know.
Let me escort you, just to keep an eye on your back. Is that okay?
She looks at you and says, no offense, but if I'm trying to keep a low profile, I kind of like my odds a little better if it's just me. I think if I keep to the shadows, like, no one will be able to follow me too well. And as you're kind of talking to her, she's like in this alley with you, and she's kind of cast in shadow. And it's like, at times she almost kind of like fades out of existence. Like it's, at times you can only see like her the whites of her eyes, and like the rest of her kind of almost drifts into shadow and disappears completely. And she is harder to see when she's, you know, standing in shadow.
How is someone following her if she's so hard to see? Okay. By the way, do you know where Patrick would be at this time of night? I don't think he would be at any of the taverns.
I mean, they'd still be open, you know, late night crowd for a little while longer anyway. I mean, The Anchor, you've been there. It's a sailor bar. There's people there, late into the night. Any sailor on shore leave, they'll stay at the bar as late as they can. I think the Flask would be open too. It's, I don't know, a little more reputable maybe, but they keep pretty late hours. He's been sleeping at the Hideout most nights. I don't know if he's got another place that he crashes. We never really talked about that.
You know him better than I do. Do you know which tavern he might be at tonight? If he was out there?
I think the Flask was his favorite. I think he was really excited to play a show there. So that's where I would check out. That's probably, your best bet. And I mean, honestly, it probably closes earlier. So if you're trying to get to it tonight, then I think you should go there first because it might be closed if you go to the Anchor beforehand.
Okay. Thanks. Can you point me in the direction of the Flask? I don't know where anything is.
Yeah. And she kind of crouches down and draws just a quick little map in the dirt that is the road here. And yeah, it's Silver District, maybe 15-minute walk from here, not super far.
Does she also put the other 2 locations on the map?
If you ask her to.
Yes.
So yeah, the Tungsten Flask is in the Silver District, and the Anchor's Beard is in the Pearl District. Over that's where the ships come in. That's the harbor area of Erdenine. So she kind of is accurately as one can with a dirt map. She draws it out for you, and she says, "Yeah, like I said, I don't know where that music shop was. Gold District. I'm not sure entirely where. Sorry."
Okay. Thanks, Una. You be safe, okay?
Yeah, you too. I'll see you in a few hours, right?
Yeah, I'll meet you back here before Nova.
Okay. Sounds good. She gives you another quick hug and then kind of disappears into the shadows.
I sneak back to the front of the building.
Sure.
And I whisper shout rumpus so the other 2 come out.
Yeah, Glimki, the smell of rotting fish kind of wafts up through your nose. You're like, ugh! And then you hear from off towards the hideout, you hear
rumpus.
God, Glimki, are you alright? You need some water or something. I haven't got any, but we could find you some.
I don't know if it's the fumes that are maybe messing with my brain, but I feel like I'm remembering that book a little differently now. I guess she must have seen something. So.
Okay, I suppose we should go investigate the rumpus call. Do you think we should answer it so she knows we've heard? Rumpus!
I could hear you from...
So you just hear gagging and then rumpus!
Okay, I head towards them. Where the returning shout of rumpus came from.
Amazing.
Rumpus!
Rumpus!
So you all rejoin in front of the hideout, or maybe a block up, whatever.
Where is she? Should we follow her?
Okay, so yeah, what happened?
We've been sitting here for 45 minutes to an hour. I feel like we should check out the pubs and see if we can find Patrick.
Wait, so you didn't see anybody?
Did you see anyone?
No.
I feel like if we stay too long, the pubs will be closed and we'll miss our chance to see if anything.
I really don't want to sit in the trash for any longer. I was really hoping this plan was gonna pan out, but
I liked the plan.
I suppose maybe we could double back. We could do the Flask first.
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, lead the way, Clay.
Okay, I confidently know where the Flask is now.
God, I don't know what happened to that alley, but Clay it's like a different person now.
I feel like we'll miss our chance.
Agreed.
So the 3 of you set off. You walk for about 15 minutes or so. Eventually, the mud and dirt roads of the Copper District lead to more cobblestone streets of the Silver District. And before long, you find yourself standing outside of a fairly nondescript wooden building. There's a metal sign hanging in front shaped like a flask. For those of you that are familiar with metal, you'll determine it's not actually tungsten, it's probably iron, but hey, you gotta make do sometime.
Tungsten in this economy?
Exactly. You push the door open, and inside you find a cozy interior. There is a wooden chandelier hanging from the ceiling. It holds a dozen candles. They each have long trails of wax hanging down off of them. At the center of the room is a stone fire, and kind of surrounding it, there's these 4 archways. It's kind of a square fire pit with these archways kind of flanking it on every side. At the far end, you see a bar. There's a human woman tending to it. She's kind of just polishing the countertop. There's a tabby cat sleeping at the far end of the bar, just kind of curled up on it. And while it's gotten a little late and things aren't fully bustling, there's still, a half dozen patrons there, as well as a bard sitting in the corner playing Tambourine Man by Bob Dylan.
Oh.
Is it Patrick?
You look at him, and it is not Patrick. It is a half-elf man who appears to be maybe 90 years old or so. He's got slightly thinning dark hair and is playing a lyre.
Okay. Can I go up to the bard to talk to him?
Sure. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me.
Is this guy Bob Dylan?
No.
It's Bob Dylan.
You walk up to him in the jingle jangle morning, I'll come following you. And he kind of wraps up the song, and there's some polite applause from the audience in attendance. And he looks up at you and says, yes, can I help you?
Hi. I was just looking for my friend. He's also a musician. Have you been playing here all night?
Yes, I have.
Wonderful singing, by the way. That was a wonderful performance.
Thank you. That's quite the song. I'm quite fond of it, actually.
And I noticed that your instrument's really nice too. Can I ask where you get your instruments tuned?
Yes, I am not from Erdenine. I am a traveling bard of quite renowned. My name is Ptolemy Henkel. I'm sure you've heard of me. Yes, I am not from here, as I've said. I've traveled quite some way, but whenever I am in the fine city of Erdenine, I tend to get my instruments tended to by Sahir, Shams, and Musical Mechanisms. That's the name of the shop. Sahir is the owner, Sahir Haroun. He's an excellent musician and craftsman of all manner of fine instruments.
Oh.
That's fascinating. I've got to check out that store.
I quite recommend it. If you are interested in the arts, as I am, then I would surely recommend it to you.
Could you tell me where it is on this map?
Reminding you that the map you were provided by Una was dirt. It was sketched into the road.
I sketch it onto a piece of paper.
Yeah, he kind of like hems and haws for a few seconds and then kind of like takes a little bit of candle wax and kind of just smushes it down onto a spot and says, I believe it's about here, give or take. Should get you close enough.
Thanks. Do you know if they're still open?
I would be surprised, but I know the owner, Sahir. He lives above the shop, so if it's an urgent matter, I'm sure he'd be on the premises at the very least.
Cool. Oh, and about my friend, have you seen a human man? Is Patrick human? I forgot.
I mean, he's ginger, so debatable, but yeah.
Oh.
Damn.
Woof! Bazinga!
Yeah, redhead, about yay high. Have you seen him?
I can't say that I have. You could talk to Lenore. I gestures to the bartender. She is the proprietor of this establishment. If there was another musician that is booked here, then I'm sure she would know more than I would. I only care about my craft and don't have time for other concerns such as the competition.
Cool. I'll leave you to it then. Love your performances.
Thank you. And as you walk away, he carries off onto another cover. Once upon a time, you're just so fine.
Oh my god, is this gonna be like a beetle from Legend of Zelda thing where he's just like at the destinations that you want to be at every time?
Oh my gosh.
I love
yeah.
that.
Thank you.
At every tavern we go to.
This guy's freaking fast.
Yeah.
I go to, what did he say? Eleanor?
Lenore.
Whoa, Lenore?
Yes, Lenore.
Am I tripping or did I write that name down?
Did you?
I'm tripping. Carry on.
Yeah, you walk up to the bar and you see a human woman. She looks to be in her mid-40s or so. She's got blonde hair with a little bit of gray streaked in and kind of held back in 2 braids. She's wearing a short-sleeved shirt that reveals some pretty buff arms, and she's kind of just polishing the countertop. And she looks up and says, "Hey, what can I get for you?"
Just some juice if you have juice.
"Yeah, I can do juice. You want apple or blackcurrant?"
Oh, yeah, Glimki hops up on a stool next to Clay. I'll also do a juice if we're having juice.
"Yeah, sure thing. Blackcurrant or
Ooh,
apple?"
yes, please. Blackcurrant sounds lovely.
Yeah, blackcurrant for me too.
2 blackcurrant juices coming right up.
Make that 3. I'll also take a black currant juice. Thank you.
Yeah, sure thing.
Couple of juicy boys.
She comes back with 3 glasses and says that'll be 3 silver.
I look at Clay.
I hand over 3 silver.
She pockets it. All right, yeah, kitchen's closed, unfortunately, but if you need anything else, just let me know.
While I have your attention, is it okay if I just... Have you seen Patrick? He usually plays here sometime.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw him yesterday, actually.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Around when? I haven't seen him around for a while.
He came in midday, just after the lunch rush. He had a new mandolin, I think it was, and was looking for a place to show off, do a show. I would have let him, but she gestures over to "Like a Rolling Stone," the Ptolemy Henkel in the corner. But I've got him booked for a month, so I told him he could maybe try the Anchor's Beard. I know they were looking for someone to do some shows, so that's where I recommended he check out.
Okay. Cool. I'll look for him there then. Did he look all right to you when he stopped by with his mandolin?
Yeah, he looked good. He was had a little pep in his step, Bought a beer and left a pretty generous tip, if I do say so. Yeah, he seemed well.
I have a question, if you don't mind.
Yeah, what's up?
Sorry, Clay, did you have any more questions about Patrick?
No, I'm good.
Lenore, did you say it was?
I didn't, but that is my name.
I have a good intuition for these things, you see. Now, Lenore, I was wondering, have you seen anyone, come through here? Or perhaps do you have any regulars that sort of look like me, not in the elven sense, but just in the general affluence sense?
She kind of brings a hand up to her chin. She's got these bulky arms.
There's arms, am I right?
Damn.
This juice better be cold, because I'm heating up.
I think we're all into buff women.
Another thing the 3 of us have in common.
No, we don't get much in the way of, to put it frankly, savory crowds. We usually get more of a salty group. And she looks over at Ptolemy Henkel and she says, "See?" And you look over and you see that there's this large half-orc, like 6 feet, 6 inches tall, just massive. And he's standing in front of Ptolemy and saying, "Now, I want you to play the Ballad of Vok the Snapper." And Ptolemy stops his 3rd Bob Dylan cover of the night and says, I'm afraid that is a bit base and beneath me. My good man, the hell did you just say to me? And he grabs him by his lapels and just holds him up off the ground. And you see that a fight is clearly about to break out.
He's right, that song is based. Now, shall we skedaddle?
We're not going to help the man?
Oh, do you want to help, Glimki?
Well,
Go ahead, I won't stop you.
I mean, Glimki downs the rest of his juice.
Yep.
and walks across the bar. "You, sir, place down the musician."
The half-orc looks at you and says, You're gonna make me?
You're not gonna want to see if I do. And I look back over my shoulder.
I down my juice and walk over and stand behind Glimki, like, menacingly.
I continue to sip and just, like, watch on. Like, drinks and a show.
The half-orc turns to Ptolemy once more and says, "I'm only going to ask you one more time. I want to hear the Ballad of Vok the Snapper." My good man, I will not do it. I am sorry to report. I simply cannot, or shall I say, will not.
You heard the man. Put the gentleman down.
The half-orc says, "All right. And then he kind of tosses Ptolemy up in the air, grabs him by the ankles, and attempts to use him like a club to hit you. I'm going to need everybody to roll initiative.
Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. I'm not sleepy, and there is no place I'm going to.
This feels like such fitting first combat for this
Mr.
group.
Tambourine Man,
I got a cool
play
21.
Oh, I thought I was gonna have the highest. I got a 19.
Well, I have 13.
Wow.
Whoa.
Dang it.
Okay, so Faunalyn, you are first. Though you are sitting at the bar, do you make any move to intervene?
Okay. I think I see this going down and I go, all right, here we go. And I also down my juice and I pull out my umbrella and press the button so that the top of the umbrella part falls to the ground, and I'm just holding my sword and I sprint. I slide through Clay's legs and I pop up in front of the half orc and I go in with like a flap flap across his chest.
Amazing.
For the record, I'm not trying to kill him. I just want to like cut up his shirt like in the movies where like
Sure. Give me an attack roll.
Okay, so I get a extra 1d6 this turn.
Yes, if you hit.
Okay, that's gonna be a 14 to hit.
14 will hit. He's not wearing very heavy armor.
Okay, that's a 8 damage plus a 1. That's 9 damage.
So you slash this guy across the chest, and he looks at you a little surprised, not realizing you were part of this group. And he's still upright, but yeah, seems a little perturbed, shall we say. Glimki, you are next, sir.
You just slashed him across the chest. Damn. Glimki is gonna take his shield out here, but he's not gonna draw his weapon. Instead, he is going to... Yeah, you know what? I'll take my shield out. I'm just gonna do, with like an unarmed strike, I'm just gonna punch him. I'm not gonna pull my weapon.
Okay, give me a punch attack.
Nice. 21.
21 will hit.
Nice. So 3 damage.
Excellent. You punch this guy in the hip for 3 damage.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, your business is with me.
Yeah, so a woman in a poofy dress and a floppy wig just went sliding across the floor and Zorro'd this guy's chest, and then you punched him in the hip.
Yep.
I'm gonna need a persuasion check.
Perfect. Oh, 24.
He looks down at you and says, all right. And we go to Clay.
The half-orc's still holding the bard?
He has Ptolemy up over his ankles up over his head, and he is preparing to bring him down and smack Glimki with a bar.
Can I try to grapple the bard out of his arms? Just like take him away?
Yeah, we can make a contested athletics check as you try and pull Ptolemy Henkel from his arms.
Nice.
Okay.
He rolled bad, I will tell you that.
I got a 14.
Okay, yeah, you step up and you kind of twist his wrists a little bit, and his hands involuntarily pop open, and you catch the bard in your arms, and he looks up at you and says, thank you, my lady. Much obliged. He tips a non-existent hat towards you.
Ptolemy Henkel also maybe loves muscular women?
Yeah, he better. Or he doesn't get to hang.
It's a requirement.
I set the bard down and just like kind of push them, like him and the orc, apart from each other and say like, cool it.
Give me a persuasion roll.
Nat 20, and my persuasion is +4.
Okay, you say cool it, and the half-orc, he kind of massages his wrists a little bit.
And his hip, right?
And his hip, yeah, his hip, and his chest, which has like a small bead of blood coming through his shirt. And he says, yeah, you're right, I'm sorry. Got a little carried away there. I just really like the Ballad of Verth the Snapper. It's always been a favorite of mine. He would snap his enemies in two. Find him quite the motivational figure.
It's all right. Just if the bard doesn't know the song, he doesn't know it. Like,
oh, I know the song. I just think it's beneath me. I mean, Yes, I'm sorry, my dear man. It's just simply not on the set list tonight. And the half-orc says, all right, well, fair enough. And he kind of steps away and mutters a sorry. And you see him sit down at a table with two other half-orcs who were kind of halfway towards standing up and coming to their friend's aid, but kind of settle down as you have successfully diffused this situation.
Man, we should really start looking around rooms when we enter them.
Nah.
Probably be a good habit to get into.
We've been fine so far, so why should we start?
Yeah.
I want to dust off the good Ptolemy Henkel a little and say, now, my good sir, first of all, I quite agree. That song is based. And secondly, I do wonder how long you've been in Erdenine.
I arrived in the city, 2 weeks ago, I'd say.
From where? From where do you come?
Oh, here and there. Before this, I was in Sunfall for a very short engagement. I find the city a bit beneath me. I'm going clockwise around Zav at the moment, you see. I might catch a ship, though, while I'm here, and perhaps spend some time in Alasha. I find the Dragon Lords are quite generous with their tips.
Now, I wonder, dear friend, while you were in Sunfall, did you happen upon a Voon family of some nobility?
Voon family? I cannot say that I am familiar with one. Like I said, I did not spend much time in Sunfall, but as part of my time there, I did make a point of at least approaching each of the great houses of the city in hopes of perhaps booking a lengthy engagement. And he kind of looks around the tungsten flask and says, this was not quite what I had in mind, but it's something. It's a gig, at the very least, and it's consistent work. But no, a House Voon does not strike a familiar chord within my mind, I'm afraid.
Interesting. And now, I suppose it's been, if you're working clockwise, I suppose it's been rather a while since you were in Uleth or Thiat.
Yes, it has been quite some time indeed. I may travel there, or I might not. We'll see how the next little bit shakes out for me.
Fair enough. Yes, it's not quite what it was, but I suppose it's still something of a nice destination. I might put in a good word for you with my host and hostess. You may have heard of them, the Bertholts of the Sapphire District. They have, rather a comely house by some people's standards, but that is to say, I'm not sure that they would be keeping a musician residence, but they do keep sort of opulent friends who might desire to have sort of on-site entertainment. Now, I suppose I could mention you tomorrow to my host and hostess, and, just by having your name sort of in circulation, you might have a better chance of securing a wealthy patron in this beautiful city. And if that were to happen, perhaps you and I could be sort of friends, and you could kind of keep me abreast of just the fun little chit-chat of the house that you happen to stay in, because I do so love to hear secondhand chit-chat.
Give me you tell me, what are you giving me? Give me whatever. Asking a man to be an informant, whatever ability you think applies to that. I'm thinking persuasion.
I'm thinking persuasion too, but I just feel like it's a good deal for him. I don't know why. Oh, okay, that's a 16.
16. He says, how's Berthold? That is remarkable. Give me an insight roll.
Ooh, that's 16.
He has never heard of House Berthold in his life, but he looks at you and says, I think that could be a agreeable arrangement between the two of us. I see no issue sharing secondhand chit-chat. Is not chit-chat but a song longing to be sung?
I would say that it is best sung as a duet.
Quite right.
Quite right. Now, Rump Trio, shall we head out?
I think so. We have some more stops on the way.
Yeah, let's check out the Anchor's Beard.
Onward.
You make for the door, and Ptolemy sits down. He picks up his lyre once more and goes, the answer, my friends, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the... And the door slams, and you are once more out in the night air.
Clay, do you happen to know where this Anchor's Inn is?
Yes, follow me.
Oh, excellent.
And I lead them.
While we walk, can we just chit chat for like 2 minutes? I know we got places to be, but I just want to ask a couple questions.
Of course, yeah. It takes time to get there. What are you chatting about while you walk?
Glimki, I can't help but notice that you seem to be rather fond of books. I think when I hit you with my carriage, you were also reading a book, and you mentioned another book, and now you've cited like 3 more books since we've spoken. What's that about?
Well, I mean, to be honest, I'm not the biggest reader, but my sister is, and she's back home, and she's given me a lengthy list of books that I should keep my eye out for. So if you want to help me out, I can show you, but perhaps at a more opportune time.
Sure. I mean, the Bertholds have rather an extensive library, and I'm happy to steal anything you need.
That would be amazing.
Yes, I don't think they read, so, they'll hardly notice. Or if they would notice, then I could just rip out the pages and leave the spine. I think I could get away with that.
Well, if we get over this and we make it through Nova, then perhaps, yeah, I'll take a gander through the books.
Of course. You mentioned a sister. Is she your age, older?
Younger. I'm the second youngest, actually, of 6 siblings, and she is the baby.
Oh, wow. Clay, have you any siblings?
Oh, no, it's just me and my dad. He's back in my hometown. Yeah, what about you, Miss Faunalyn?
Miss Vaydark is fine. And yes, Yes, I've got some siblings.
And are you close?
No, and I keep walking.
Oh. Fair enough.
Yikes.
And I look at Clay. Do we console her? What is the situation?
I think I hit a nerve.
Perhaps we let this one go.
Let's
But
just
if it
go.
happens again, one of us has got to say something.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, you continue on for a ways. There's kind of a general uphill slant as you make your way through Erdenine towards the Pearl District. The city, as you, I'm sure, know, is kind of a bowl surrounded by heavy, thick walls that separate it from the ocean. And you kind of find yourself moving upwards, and there is another of these walls. There is several gates that access the Pearl District. Just have to go through the walls to get to it. The gates are open. There are guards on duty, but they kind of are just making sure nobody tries to, come in and pillage the city, that sort of thing. Like, they're kind of just hanging out. They don't really stop you in any way. And yeah, you make your way through this thick wall into the Pearl District. There's all these wooden houses, some of them on stilts. There's just a strong smell of ocean water kind of drifting through. It's late, but you can hear the sound of waves kind of crashing in and creaking of docks and tall ships. You look down towards the water and you see all these double-masted, triple-masted ships lining this entire length, the kind of entire eastern side of the city, before you kind of turn off and you follow Clay's directions once more and find yourself standing in front of a 2-story stone building. It has this aggressive lean to it, like it wants to fall over but hasn't quite made up its mind when. You see hanging above the door is an anchor with a rope beard woven onto it. You are at the Anchor's Beard Inn.
Okay, this time, when we go in there, perhaps we should discuss a plan of sorts. I mean, we tried the Cleric Road thing. That didn't work. And I'm not quite sure how well your intimidation worked the other time, but what did work in the other bar was when we worked together. So maybe this time being on the same page will help. So, and take a look around.
I think we go in there, do a sweeping check of the room.
Use our eyes. I would say that's a top priority. And then, well, what did everyone think of the juice at the other place?
It was delicious.
I could go for another round of juice.
I liked that part of the plan where we all just kind of hung out with the bartender and asked pointed questions, so I think that could be part of our plan.
I like that plan.
Okay.
The same as last time?
So we're using our eyes and then drinking juice. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And we swing open the door.
Yeah, we go in.
This door has sort of the sponginess of a wood that has absorbed far too much water. It's got a little give to it as you push it open. Inside, you see that this is all of the charm and coziness of the tungsten flask is absent in the Anchor's Beard Inn. You see that the interior, the floor is slanted and there's a bit of water pooling in one corner. You see various sailor types with tattoos of hearts that say mom and anchors, and one guy with a bare chest and just a big old ship's wheel sitting around drinking. It's pretty late in the night, but it's still a pretty rowdy crowd. You see in one corner with all the pooling water is a human man who is playing the mandolin. He's not playing very well. Like every kind of fourth note is kind of plunked and sounds bad. In another corner, you see a cloaked figure smoking a long pipe. He's got a hood that covers like most of his face, and you get the sense he's staring at you as you walk in. Behind the bar, you see a tiefling woman. She appears to be quite young. She has just like a rich blue skin and these horns that are kind of curled like that of a ram's. And
How buff is she?
pretty thin, actually. Pretty slender, not a whole lot of muscle definition.
Next.
Behind her is a framed portrait of a male tiefling who looks to be older than her.
Hang on. Do I recognize the tiefling in the portrait?
You do not. While there are some similarities to that of a certain humiliation house, they don't appear to be... It does not appear to be any member of House Humiliation that you have met up until this point.
So it could be a humiliation, but not one that I met or saw a portrait of.
It could be. Yeah, it could be either a humiliation that you are unfamiliar with or a different blue tiefling.
Okay.
And if it is that, you're going to feel like a bit of a racist, I have to imagine.
Well, I just feel like we're in a ship-themed bar and the humiliation thing is shipping. So I'm thinking, gang, that we should ask some questions about the humiliation ships and like whether one of them was leaving the harbor on the night that the princess went missing or something like that.
Well, if you're saying this out loud, I would say perhaps we tread a little bit lighter around it, because if these are affiliated, perhaps they won't take too kindly to people digging around their business.
Is the shitty bard Patrick?
No. You look over, he is human, appears to be maybe around Patrick's age, maybe a couple years older. You see he's got dark hair and does not have the characteristic red hair or orange hair and freckles that Patrick does.
How fresh is his mandolin?
Yeah, is it brand new?
Give me a perception check. This is going to be pretty hard to evaluate the freshness of a mandolin from this distance.
Can I also roll? I want to roll.
Sure.
Oh my god, I want new dice.
I got 11 plus 3.
I got a 6.
Glimki, you're having a hard time seeing through the crowd. There's kind of, people, all these bulky sailors kind of going this way and the next. Clay, you look over and you don't really know anything about instruments. He's holding a mandolin. You know it's the same kind of instrument that Patrick plays, but you don't know. You know nothing about the mandolin beyond that.
Okay. I just go, damn, it's not Patrick. Do I see him anywhere in the pub, like not playing?
Looking around, you do not. There's a bunch of sailors in striped shirts with little ascots around their necks. There's the cloaked figure in the corner. There's the bard. There's the bartender. None of them bear any resemblance to Patrick Fasthands.
Oh, by the way, everyone, I should mention, and I'm dropping my voice quite low, the House Humiliation was potentially implicated in the attempted murder of myself that happened 2 nights ago. So let's not mention who I may be. And I'm going to draw my hood.
I was going to say, I look at the incredibly, brightly, I guess, flamboyantly dressed character. Yes, that will be very easy to hide.
I'd also like to point out you're wearing like an 18-inch tall wig, so your hood is just like a camel's hump.
Yep.
Perhaps, my lady, you find a corner table? I'll go get us some juice.
Yeah, I'll come. I'll go with Glimki.
This plan is looking spectacular. By the way, I didn't roll perception when we came in the door.
If you would like to take a look around, go ahead. What are you looking for?
I'm going to look for any faces that I recognize or any hostile-looking figures.
Okay, give me a perception.
16.
I'd say with a 16, this seems like a rowdy crowd. You see quite a few of them have like daggers and swords kind of strapped to their hips. You see one guy, he has a peg arm with a cup holder arm attachment. They all look unsavory, but none of them care about you. None of them are looking at the three of you with any interest beyond, oh, the door opened. Okay, there's more people here. Back to our merrymaking. There is a guy in the corner staring at you.
Okay.
Who's the guy? What does he look like?
He is wearing a hood that covers like his eyes. You can't really see him. His head is bowed down low. He's got a long pipe kind of sticking out. You can see a bit of stubble.
Is this Aragorn?
It's Strider.
It's Strider. This is Strider core as hell.
You're welcome to ask him his name. But yeah, he seems to be like kind of looking in your direction. I would say after like a few seconds, he kind of looks away and kind of takes a flagon of ale and sips at it, but kind of keeps his figure obscured.
Wait, I'm heading to a corner to sit anyway, right?
That is what you said.
I'm gonna head to that corner.
Okay. What do you do?
I'm going to. Is there any like table near him?
There's a couple nearby.
Okay, I'm going to sit at the table next to him, like facing the same way that he's facing.
Towards the door?
Yep.
Okay, so not looking at him.
And I'm not going to look at him, but then I'm going to say, can I have my associate buy you a drink? Us mysterious folks have got to stick together. And I draw my hood a little closer down towards my forehead and squash my wig a couple more inches.
He says, that might be nice. But did you say you brought an associate, though?
Oh, he's really more of I guess a friend.
You can see the head walking between.
I'm gonna try to wave down Glimki. And Rumpus!
I look over.
2 juices! Two juices!
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, I hit him with my carriage earlier, and we're working through it.
He says, I thought you would be coming alone.
He doesn't know anything. It's just that he really loves juice, and he wouldn't take no for an answer when he heard I was going
very
out.
loudly from the bar, you hear Glimki. Yes, I would like your finest black currant juice, if you have any.
Cutting over to the bar, the tiefling woman looks down at you and says, we don't have no juice here. We serve ale and we serve liquor.
Oh, cider, maybe?
Viltari Sin No More does not serve cider in her bar.
Wine?
Do you have milk or water?
I could do a paralyzer.
What's that?
Coming right up. And she walks away and she comes back with a mug of milk and vodka that she has mixed together.
So she did have milk. She just wouldn't give it to us.
Can you just give me the milk?
Click. Just drink it. Just drink it. We shouldn't argue here.
Okay, well, I'd like 4 cups, please.
She whips up 4 paralyzers for you and says, that'll be a gold.
Fuck. That's the one's on me.
Yeah, you reach up and slide her a gold and she grabs it and she bites it. You see she's got like jagged shark teeth that kind of like line her entire mouth.
Oh, cool.
Before we walk away, is there any orcs here?
Yeah.
There is? Any sitting alone in groups?
You get the sense, kind of looking at this crowd, that most of these people, with the exception of Man and Corner, seem to know each other. There's kind of like a general camaraderie. You haven't spent much time in Erdene, but you get the sense that they're probably all from a ship that recently docked here and they're kind of enjoying some shore leave.
Okay, I would like to look at what they're drinking. A group of the orcs.
A mixture of brown ale and.
Who's the biggest one?
I'd say there's a full-blooded orc, kind of standing in a circle, and
nice.
He's kind of telling this raucous story. He's flexing his arm, and there's like a ship on his bicep that looks like it's kind of going up and down on some waves every time he flexes.
I would like to buy an extra flagon of ale.
Sure. She says 5 copper.
Okay, sure. Dang it. And I will... Damn, we got fucking ripped.
It's real premium on liquor and milk in this place.
Damn.
Yeah, you walk over and you hand him a flagon of ale, or you reach.
Well, I'm going to be walking by with my paralyzer and my flagon of ale, and I go, "I'm so sorry to interrupt. Has anyone ever told you that you look like Verk the Snapper?"
Give me a I don't know, just a charisma check.
It's only a 13.
A 13. He looks down at you with the meanest, most like scowly face. It looks like someone made like a clay face and then smushed it in like every possible way. And he looks down at you and says, "That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me."
And I like smile and laugh. It was like, I've got an extra ale here. I think for someone that shows the image of Verk the Snapper, I think you've earned yourself this.
Thank you.
Since we're talking, You guys all look like friends. Do you guys know who that man is sitting in the corner there? I mean, you guys all look familiar, but I don't think I've seen his face around here before.
They look over, and he's the orc turns back to you and says, "Now, I ain't been here long. Just got in yesterday. Haven't really left this place since we got here. But I will tell you this. He goes by Fletcher, he does. Don't know much else about him, but he's been here for the last 3 hours or so, kind of just staring at the door."
Fletcher, you say? That's interesting.
Fletcher, yeah, that's what he said, yeah.
Well, you folks enjoy your night. Enjoy your drink, and I
Thanks.
hold my
You too.
my tankard out for a nice cheers here.
Give me a strength saving throw.
Shit. Oh no. 10.
A 10. You barely manage to hold on as he clinks glasses with you and nearly knocks your paralyzer out of your hand, but you kind of like grab it with both hands and hold on, and you get spun around 3 times. Clay, what are you doing?
I'm keeping one eyeball on Glimki talking to a massive orc.
Yep.
But I want to stay and just quickly ask the bartender if they've seen if Patrick had come by to play.
Yeah, you bring up Patrick and she says, "You know Patrick, do you?"
Yeah. I haven't seen him around lately. Has he been by?
Yeah, it's kind of the problem. You see, he comes in yesterday and begs me to put him up, give him a spot, and I agree because if there's one thing Velturi Sin No More is, it's charitable. And wouldn't you know it, he doesn't show up tonight. I guess he actually didn't show up last night either. He showed up in the afternoon, asked for the gig, didn't come back, so gave it to that bloke, and he's not great. This drunk lot doesn't seem to care, but
So you didn't see from Patrick since yesterday afternoon either. Did he seem like he was headed off somewhere? Did he mention?
I mean, he promised he'd be back around Supernova to start playing for the evening crowd, and he never came. If you see him, tell him he's not welcome back here. We don't need unreliable sorts.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for the drinks, and then I go catch up with Glimki.
Sure. The two of you coalesce, and Faunalyn, you are sitting in the corner staring at the door still. I'd say probably a little while later, Clay comes by with a pair of paralyzers.
Go! I want to talk to the guy. Go.
Oh.
Who are you? Leave me alone. I don't know who you are. Stop harassing me. I know I'm attractive.
Thank you for carrying the drinks over.
This table is taken. You can't sit here. I'm a single woman, and you have no right to speak to me this way just because I'm alone at a bar. Go.
Weren't you
Okay,
waiting
go.
for me to bring you these drinks? What the?
Go. Okay, I'll take the drink. Okay, thank you. I grabbed the drinks. Now, get.
Okay. I sit at another table but close by.
I'd say the two of you, Faunalyn, you don't see this because you are pointedly looking away from the man in the corner. The two of you, though, Clay and Glimki, you see he kind of grimaces as you slide him a drink, and he mutters, "You draw far too much attention to yourself."
Okay, well, they've chilled out now, so I don't even know who that person is. I've never seen her before in my life. That is my associate, but the other one, total stranger. I only brought one friend to the secret meetup.
Now
Anyway,
Clay and me are both sitting at the same table.
Yeah, we're sharing drinks.
I am so sad to have possibly hurt your feelings, but I did what I had to do. I slide him the drink and I say, "So, now that you have your whatever the hell this is, milk, I guess? I don't know. Anyway,
Smells like fermented yak milk from the far
Ooh.
mountains.
Oh, yes. Yep, that's what I like." And I do my shot.
It's a full-blown glass.
I chug it.
He looks at you, and once again, you don't see this, but the two of you at the other table, you see him kind of grimace slightly, and he says, "Well, shall we head upstairs then?"
Yes, but first I like to draw it out, so let's just chat down here for just like another minute, and then we'll go right upstairs and do the upstairs things.
all right, I just, he kind of pulls out a pocket watch and looks at it and says, I just, time is rather of the essence for these sorts of things, but all right.
I'm sure you won't take anywhere near as long as you think you'll take. so, so why don't you just remind me? Just give me, you know what? Let's do this. Give me the agenda, and then we'll go upstairs and set up the conference room, and we'll have the full, we'll do it all up there. But give me the agenda down here so I can, brace myself going up the stairs.
Right. Well, I believe the plan is we meet here at the bar, we have a drink, then we head up and have 15 to 20 minutes of passionate lovemaking, perhaps an equally appropriate amount of post-coital talk, and then we go our separate ways before our spouses realize we're here. That was the plan, was it not?
Can we hear this at all?
Give me a perception check.
14.
Me too. I also got 14.
Yeah, the two of you hear every second word, but like out of sync. So you each get half of what he said and kind of are able to piece it together.
Passionate
Yes.
lovemaking with our spouses.
What?
Yes, no, that's definitely still the plan. I just, I need to be sure that you are who you said you were going to be. So just give me a quick glimpse of your face, and then once I have your identity ascertained, we can head right on up.
Give me a persuasion check.
I really can't roll tonight. That's 11.
He sits up, kind of stops slouching, puts his pipe down, and pulls the cloak back just a bit, revealing a handsome man, shoulder-length hair, nice stubble, and a face you've never seen in your life.
Shit. Okay. Wow. You're better looking than I remembered or imagined, whatever applies. The other thing is I have sort of a fetish that you must accommodate, otherwise the deal's off, you see. And the fetish is that I must call my lovers by their real first and last name. A pseudonym just simply won't do it. So could you remind me of the proper pronunciation of your name so that in the throes of my ecstasy, I might heighten the pleasure by speaking out your real actual identity in the privacy of our shared chamber, of course?
Well, my friends, the other rangers of the forest, call me Fletcher, as you know. But my true name, and he kind of looks around and says, my real name is Haros Falxian.
Falxian. And, sorry, his friends call him what?
Fletcher.
Call him
Could have told you that.
Okay.
I could have told you that.
Okay, excellent. And now...
Of course, I am the true king of Erdenine.
Okay, wow, I'm getting a lot. Okay, wow. That's all very helpful, and I'll be sure to recite that all during my
I swear to God,
orgasm.
if this ends up being true.
But the other thing that I just want to check real quick is, could you just pronounce my name, who you think that I am, so that I can correct your pronunciation, so that when you're in the throes of your ecstasy, you might heighten the pleasure by shouting out my true and full name? Go on.
Well, of course. You are Lucerina Harris. You are Lucerina, are you not?
Oh my God. Not only am I Lucerina, I've just gotten my period. I can feel it. There's blood everywhere. And oh God, yep, the cramps. You know what? I simply don't feel up to it.
Give me
why
a
don't
deception roll.
What if Faunalyn did get her period?
That's fine, but you're also claiming to be this woman.
That's a dirty 20. Wait, a dirty 19.
He says, well, I believe you are who you say you are. And I will say, that's not really a deal breaker for me, but I understand if it's something you're not comfortable with. Perhaps another time. And he's going to stand up dramatically, grab his pipe, and then cloak like billowing out behind him, make his way out the door.
I'm immediately going to like scramble over to Clay and Glimki and say, I am so sorry for being so nasty just then. You see, I thought that something important was going to go down with that mysterious fellow, and really he was just trying to have an affair, which is quite exciting for me, but quite irrelevant to the pursuits of this night.
I don't even know how to react. I also thought that was a good lead.
That's why I was so nasty, because he was all, I thought you weren't bringing any friends. And I was like, I don't have any friends here, but of course I do have at least one friend here.
I'm honestly glad that you told us to walk away, because who would have known what would have happened?
Good. Should we? Oh my god! Should we come up with a code word of sorts when one of us is being sneaky and doesn't want to be interrupted, and then they can just say that word, and then the other one will know exactly, what that means.
Yeah, yes, we're coming up with a lot of processes here.
That's teamwork for you.
Yes, processes make the prophecies come true.
Prophecies maketh men.
Yes, I believe said that. Quite right. Should we say the word prophecy when we want the other person to go the hell away?
Sure.
Just work it organically into a
Okay.
sentence. I see no reason why that shouldn't be very possible in almost any situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, yeah, because you could get away with just doing the prophecy, and people would be okay with it.
It's brilliant. Okay. Now, what did you learn?
I learned that his name was Fletcher.
Oh, I meant, while you were away from me, but we could talk about Fletcher. There's a lot to say.
No, that's what I learned while I was away from you. We were rounding the same train.
Oh my god, can I do a retroactive insight check on Fletcher to see if he was like way smarter than me and just playing along?
Sure. Give me an insight roll.
Oh my god, okay. Because in hindsight,
He could be the true
King.
that's a 15.
A 15. With a 15, you don't know if he's the true king of Erdenine or not. That is fully up for debate. But you do think that guy was just here to get laid.
Okay, perfect. Good. Great. Awesome.
I learned that Patrick was supposed to play here last night and tonight, and he didn't show up.
Wait, hold on a minute. I'd like to go back to my friend Vert the Snapper.
Sure. He says, "Hey, little guy, how you doing?" And he kind of tussles your hair.
Honestly,
he says, "You got leaves for hair." Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. You noticed. You know what I found
Yeah,
out?
because it's like I touched your head and there's like sticks and little branches and leaves that are crunchy in my fingers.
Yeah, careful with that. I don't want to break any of them off.
You see, I'm a man of the sea, so I don't see many trees or leaves or grass. But you kind of have it. Would you come with me on my ship? And we could sail the Elseween Ocean forever, and I would never have to say goodbye to sweet green trees.
Well, I actually spent quite some time on a ship, and I'm, just getting used to my land legs again. So maybe next time. But I did have a question for you. Oh, actually, I actually got a little bit of gossip too. You know that guy Fletcher in the corner?
Yeah.
Turned out to be a pervert.
Oh, I knew it. No man sips there drinking yak's milk and smoking a pipe if he's not a bit of a pervert.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I thought he was going to be cooler. Now I kind of wish that we didn't interact with him at all.
Ain't that the nature of beasts?
But quick question for you. You've been here for how long?
A few days.
So you would have got in just like, I don't know, a few nights ago?
Yeah, a couple nights ago.
When you were, locking up at the docks.
Yeah.
Did you see anything suspicious down there?
Yeah. There was a rat, but I think it was a man.
Like,
A rat man?
are you talking about druidcraft?
I don't know nothing about stinking druids. I just know that he was a rat, and then he was a man.
I look back at my group. This guy's knows some stuff. You saw a rat become a man, and that's all you saw? That was weird? Nothing else stood out to you at the docks?
Yeah, that's about right.
Interesting.
He was eating a piece of bread.
As a rat or as a man?
Well, both, which is kind of what made me sure he was a rat who became a man, because, you know, it was this rat dragging a big old baguette down the alleyway, and then it was a man eating the baguette. You know, I thought, that's odd. A rat and a man with a baguette?
Huh.
What are the odds?
Yeah, interesting. And this was at where did you guys lock up? Any recognizable shipping crews down there that you guys working beside?
With a 16, he knows what recognizable means. He says, "No, just a rat."
Yeah, okay. Well, that's good to know. Now that's very peculiar. You into music at all?
I like a good sea shanty, or
Yeah.
a lullaby from me mum. Either way,
Yeah,
really.
you're probably a fan of the song about Vaydark the Snapper then, and I shout out to the bard, Bard! Vaydark the Snapper!
He goes, oh, okay. And actually plays a pretty good rendition.
Hey, yes, and I start walking away.
I guess there once was a man named Vaydark the Snapper. He had lots of fish, and his favorite was red snapper. If he was a musician, he'd be a rapper. And that's the story of Vaydark the Snapper.
It's a good story.
And then the
That
orc
doesn't
says,
sound right.
there's more to the story. He's like, right. Vaydark the Snapper tore 50 men in half, bent them over into two pieces, and then had a good laugh. Vaydark the Snapper was quite a monstrous figure, but we sing his song anyway. Dling.
Third verse!
Tearing them in two wasn't good enough for Vert. He wanted to eat them and make their eyes splurt. He starts like gagging a little as he's singing. He says, I really don't think this guy should be remembered in song. He's kind of a monster. And the orcs and half-orcs in the crowd start to boo. And he says, but that's cool and good, and we like him that way. So we sing his song to this day. Dling.
Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful.
And then your friend says, now play the other 17 verses. And he says, okay. And then carries on describing the many war crimes and atrocities Vaydark the Snapper subjected upon various societies.
They say it's an action tale, but I'd rather think of it as rather a romance.
Yeah, I wonder, perhaps there is a book somewhere of Vaydark the Snapper.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, no one here knows how to read it.
I think the 12th verse is the best one.
Oh, go on and sing that verse for us. I can't remember how it goes. The bard
Oh,
rushed through it.
Well,
No,
you can wait till the bard gets to that one.
Your orc friend cuts in and goes, now he was a guy who burned down all the towns, and all the little people, they'd cry and they'd frown, but Vaydark would just laugh as he snapped them down. Vaydark the Snapper's my hero. Dling! But he's not carrying an instrument, he just goes dling at the end.
Oh, lovely. You have a charming voice, my friend. Now, sorry, I couldn't quite hear you, but I think you were saying something about the names of the ships that were leaving the port on the night that you saw the Rat Man, which is the thing that I overheard you say to my friend Glimki.
I think he said no, but...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's
Never
about it.
mind.
I really just saw the Rat Man and then kind of came here and I've been drinking ever since.
What did
Okay.
the man and the rat look like? Like what kind of?
Well, he looked like a rat. You see, rats are these little creatures and they've got long tails and they kind of scurry around. And a man is kind of like me, but uglier. He's, walks on 2 feet. One walks on 2 feet in the day and 4 feet in the evening. It's a rat, man.
It's a rat man.
Well, what was he wearing?
What was he wearing? I don't know. He was wearing rat man clothes. You're asking a lot of questions. What are you? Cops?
What? No.
Oh, no. I just...
No, us? No. Psh, psh,
There's a
no.
sudden hush through the crowd. You hear the 19th verse of the song, and then the crowd goes, cops, cops, cops.
Yeah, Fletcher was a narc. We should go.
Yep.
As the bard kind of plucks at a string and there's a record scratch sound, and then your friend, the orc, says, Fletcher's a narc. All right, boys, let's get him. And the whole bar vacates as about 20 sailors make their way into the evening in search of Fletcher the narc.
No. Oh, no, we've done a bad thing.
No. He was trying to do a bad thing.
Glimki is proudly monogamous.
It's like Vert the Snapper, fine. Cheaters, death.
And you hear, the bard picks up the mandolin for the 20th verse and says, "So that's the story of Vert the Snapper. He's a good guy, and we sing his praises. This song really fell apart by the end of it all, and that's the story of Vertling." And he looks around, and there's like no one in the bar, and he says, "Well, there goes my tip." And starts to pack up his mandolin. He puts it into this case and starts latching it up.
Where did you get your mandolin from, friend? No one asked him that yet, right?
No one's talked to him, actually.
Oh, hello, friend. That was a adequate rendition of a tolerable song. Where did you get that shiny mandolin?
I bought it.
From?
What's it to you?
No, it's just beautiful craftsmanship, and I'd like to acquire something like it for myself. You see, I have very much gold. Not on me, like in a robbable way, but at a different place.
It was from my dad.
Who's your dad?
What's it to you?
What's it to you to what's it to me? I'm asking you a perfectly normal question. I'm just making conversation. So who's your dad?
He's my dad, that's all.
Okay, he doesn't have a name?
Sure.
Okay, and what's the name?
He kind of looks you up and down and says, Grigor.
Grigor.
Okay, bye. See, that guy's dad's name is Grigor, and that doesn't mean anything to us, right? I thought there might be kind of an in with his mandolin, like maybe he would know someone who knew someone who knows.
Nah, it was Sahar?
Sahar or something. Oh, yes,
Sure.
okay. I'm gonna walk up back to the bard and say, do you know Sahir? I wrote down the last name. Let's see.
I
Sahir
wrote
Charms at
Oh.
Musical Madness.
That's not the guy's name. That's neither his name nor the name of his store.
Sahir Charms.
Sahir something?
Sahir Charms.
I wrote Shroom. I
No,
don't know if
isn't
that's
it
right.
Sahir
Holmes?
something? Didn't you say
Holmes?
Sahir Shroom.
I believe you were told that his name is Sahir Haroon,
Yeah, that's what
but
I
his
said.
store is called
Heard.
Sahir's Shams and Musical Mechanisms. A sham being a type of woodwind instrument.
Ah.
Okay.
Musical Max. Okay.
So Shams was a thing. I was right in a way.
Sure, from a certain point of view.
Okay. So Sahir Shams musical methods. Do you know that guy?
Mechanisms.
Nope, can't say that I do.
This guy's a phony.
Yeah, this guy sucks. Let's go. I
Let me
hate
see
this
that
guy.
thing.
We should kick this guy's ass.
Let me see
He
that thing.
kind of holds the case tight to him and says, "No, that's okay. This is my mandolin, and I don't need you messing with the tuning."
Insight. I want to know if this guy full of shit.
Yeah, give me a insight roll.
I got a insight. Oh, plus nothing. 16.
16. You've known some some musicians rather in Dwells. Like, pretty much everybody plays something, whether it's a lyre or a mandolin or a band whistle or a toot sniffle or a wash bin with a single pole and a string coming out of it. All kinds of instruments make up the orchestra that is Dwells. And you've known some musicians to be rather cagey and protective about their instruments. This seems to be going a little beyond that.
Mm-hmm. Where did you say you got this again?
I bought it with my own money.
Wait, he just said that his dad gave it to him.
This guy.
Have you seen Patrick? He was supposed to play here tonight, and I was expecting to see him.
Oh my god, this guy killed Patrick.
I didn't kill anybody. I didn't kill anybody. I did not kill anybody. This is my mandolin, and I bought it from my father, Grigor Stallworth.
You lie, and you know what? As long as you're telling the truth about one thing and you didn't kill him, that's fine. But what you should do from this point forward is at least tell the truth of where you sourced that mandolin.
Give me a persuasion roll.
Can I help?
Sure. Persuasion roll with advantage.
Nice, good, because I was very low. 15 plus persuasion for 19.
He kind of deflates a bit and says, "Okay, yeah, I wasn't lying. I didn't kill anybody. I found this a couple days ago in an alley. It was just lying there in perfect mandolin. I don't know. It's
Does it look like Patrick's old mandolin before he bought a new one?
I would say you look at it. Patrick had a pretty beat up old mandolin. This one looks pretty pristine, like the case at least. I mean, and from the glimpses you saw, it looked pretty new.
Okay, so it's not the same one.
Well, it looks like, yeah, the one that he would have just bought, right?
Something bad has happened to Patrick.
And whereabouts did you find this?
Yeah, where?
Few blocks from here, not far.
Would you be able to take us there?
If I take you, can I keep the mandolin?
No.
I say yes. I don't know. Should we do a vote? Clay, what do you think?
What if Patrick's alive? He would like his mandolin that he's earned. This man's, I mean, didn't necessarily steal it, but it doesn't belong to him.
Oh, I really think Patrick's dead. That's on me.
Well, okay.
No.
Sidebar, and I grab Lady Vaydark and move her to the side. That's her friend.
Oh, yes. Clay, my condolences.
No.
I put my hand on the bard's shoulder. I'm like, show us where you found the mandolin.
Yeah. Okay. Sure thing. And he takes you outside. You see that as you're walking through the streets, you hear the sound of, we'll say, squelchy impacts. And you round a corner and you see Fletcher is tied to the mast of a ship and 20 sailors are pelting him with tomatoes and potatoes.
Keep walking.
And other root vegetables. And he says, I was just trying to have an affair. Is that so wrong? I don't love my wife anymore. And I don't think she loves me. And we haven't talked about it, but I don't think this is so wrong. And they continue to pelt him, shouting, narc, 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 narc. And
Perv.
the chant gets picked up and they're like, perv, narc. And this bard takes you away from that horrendous scene to a nearby alleyway. This is where I found it. And it just, you look around. It is a kind of a back alley, cobblestone streets. There's kind of obviously buildings on either side. A bit of trash, but not too messy.
Glimki would like to, now that he's gotten here, take a little bit of a look around. See if there's any other signs, and maybe ask Clay, is there anything else that that Patrick may have had that might stand out that we could look for?
Do I know? I also want to look around just to see if there's anything that looks like Patrick's or suspicious.
Anyone who wants can make an investigation check.
God dang it.
As far as personal effects go, Patrick Fasthands, he's not a cartoon character. He didn't have a single outfit. He did have a green cloak that he was fond of, but, you don't see a green cloak nearby. What did I hear for investigation rolls?
8.
I got a 13.
I got a 6, so pretty low.
Clay, you look around and you do not see a green cloak. What you do see is a dark stain on one of the cobblestones.
Like blood?
Like blood.
Shit.
I want to elbow Glimki and go like, you see?
Oh, but there's no body, or is there like a trail of blood, or is it just one spot?
It takes you a few minutes. You look around. You kind of go up and down the alley. You get the sense it looks like a lot of it's been wiped away. You see that there's like some of the blood ends in like streaks. Like there's multiple spots you see now as you're like looking around this alleyway.
Like someone was dragged?
Possibly. And you kind of see that, if there is a trail, it would lead further into this alleyway.
Okay, I'm gonna look back at this man's.
He is deathly white, like just all the blood is drained from his face, and he's like, I don't want this. And he kind of shoves it into your arms, Glimki, and says, "Here, you have it. Give it a good home." And he is going to try and run away.
I grab the back of his collar when he's running.
Okay, give me an athletic check as you try and grab him.
Ooh, I got an 18.
18. You grab him, by the back of his cloak.
Nice.
Does the blood's like dried, right? Like a day old?
It seems to be mostly dried by now.
I asked the bard, like, when you found the mandolin here, what else was here? Like, was there anything else here?
No, that was everything. I just saw this and thought, hey, what a great thing to find. You know, a lucky day. You know, I was kind of in the market for a new instrument myself, and one comes upon my path, and I didn't hurt anybody. I promise. I just found the instrument. That's all I did. Please let me go.
See, I want to insight again, just on
is he telling
how-
the truth?
Yeah, what he's.
Yeah. Both of you make insight rolls.
Oh,
Ah,
not
jeez.
20.
Wow,
Hey!
nice. That's good. That makes up for my 4.
I rolled a 2.
I got 23.
Nice.
You look at this guy, and he seems completely genuine. He seems extremely freaked out by what you have found here, and it seems like he's being completely honest. He saw a mandolin, or he saw an instrument case in an alleyway. Sure, it probably belonged to somebody, but he seems very freaked out that something violent seems to have happened here.
Okay.
Should we let him keep the lyre? Because, no one else is using it.
No, I take
Nope,
I
nope,
take the
no.
mandolin. I take it and I'm like, okay, go, and then I like push him away, I guess. Let go of him.
Yeah, he just runs off into the night.
Okay. I strap the instrument case to my back, I guess, next to my mace.
Yeah, you throw it over your shoulder. There's a strap, and
Is there like a trail of blood to follow, like drag marks?
Yeah, leading further into the alleyway, there appears to be a bit of a trail. It seems like it was maybe cleaned up for the most part, but you see like occasionally like a little smudge here and there. It takes you a little while, but you kind of do pick up that there is a trail.
I follow it.
Okay. You follow the trail for a few minutes through this winding network of back alleys. Occasionally there's like a split, and you take a few seconds and you're able to see a few more drops here or there that lead you in a certain direction. And eventually the trail ends at a stack of crates. You're in a warehouse sort of shipping district. The alleys, a lot of them have been lined with barrels and crates and what have you, but yeah, this trail seems to end at a stack of crates.
Are they open? Can I see anything about the crates? Are they labeled?
You look around. On them, there is an insignia of a double-masted ship.
It's humiliation.
You kind of check the crates. They all appear to be sealed, nailed shut. But as you're kind of poring over them, you happen to look behind the stack. And as you're peering over, you come face to face with the bloody remains of Patrick Fasthands.
No.
You see that his ginger hair, that kind of was his trademark symbol, is soaked with blood, and there is a large hole in the top of his head, as if something was just like punched through, and you can just see like bits of brain, and he is thoroughly dead.
Okay, Omni-Man. Gross.
Oh no.
Whoa. Well, Glimki.
Can I do a medicine check?
I can fix him.
Patrick.
What are you trying to accomplish with this medicine check?
Just anything like.
I'm gonna put the brains back.
Yeah.
Sure. Give me a medicine check.
Clay's like still. Oh, I got a 19 plus 5.
Yeah, you start to like pour, like, peer down at his body. It's gross, but you kind of will yourself to take the time to examine it thoroughly. You can see down into his neck. Whatever killed him had a lot of weight behind it. It was something you think piercing, a piercing weapon probably, and something very strong and heavy.
From the top,
like a spear.
Glimki throws up.
Yeah.
It's bigger than any sphere. I'd say the hole is almost the entire size of his head, like a good 4-5 inches across.
Oh.
Yeah, Glimki throws up.
Clay also throws up.
Yeah.
Away from the body.
Faunalyn wasn't gonna throw up, but you two throwing up makes her throw up. We're just in a little triangle.
Yeah, we're just retching. Is this a horror podcast? What is this?
Yeah, that took a turn.
Yeah. Damn.
Okay. I hate to say this, Clay, But I rather think we should go find your friend Una and the other one whose names I can't remember because Una did say she was being followed and
Yeah, okay, wait. Is there any like cloth or stuff around the crates that I can toss over Patrick's body?
He's wearing his green cloak.
I wrap him in his cloak. Is there anything else nearby that looks suspicious, or was his body just dumped here?
Give me an investigation check.
13.
Looking around, it appears like just his body is stuffed here. Doesn't appear like much care was given to it. Seems like he was kind of just dragged here and dumped. And yeah, there's no telltale signs of who or what did this.
should we bring him back to your friend? Or does he have a family we could bring his remains
Well,
to?
I was thinking perhaps what we could do is we could maybe leave a note to the guard with his whereabouts. I mean, if we were to find him and bring them, I fear that perhaps we might be implicated in some way.
Quite right.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
Clay.
Here, how about this? Do I have paper on me?
I can't imagine why you would.
Okay.
I've got,
Glimki,
I
can I
got
borrow
some
a?
shit, yeah.
Thank you. Yes, that's quite generous of you.
Yeah, rip off some
Okay.
some
I think
parchment.
I have paper too. I have my sketches of Albert.
Okay, everybody has paper except me, I guess.
Glimki, you are down one more page in your notebook. I know we're tracking that very carefully. So one
Ooh.
page out of 800 is gone now.
Okay. Good
So,
to
yeah,
know.
please keep close track of that.
I will.
I can just steal more if you run out.
I'm going to make a tally.
Entire character sheet is just hatch marks.
I want to write. My name is. What was his full name again? Stan.
Patrick?
Patrick. Yes, Patrick. What?
Fast. I don't know his
Patrick
full
Fast
name.
Hands. Oh, Patrick
We
Fast Hands.
call
You're
him
so right.
Patrick.
My
I
name
don't
is
think you
Patrick
should
Fast
put
Hands.
Fast Hands.
Okay, I crossed out Fast Hands. That's a good note. My name is Patrick. Underline Patrick. I live at. Where does he live?
I don't know where he lives.
Okay, what's the address of the place we were at before?
I'm not giving the address of the hideout.
Oh my god. See, I'm really trying to do a nice
I
thing.
think that if they were to find the body anyway, the note doesn't really do that much of a difference.
I think
I
I just
was-
want to like make him like, kind of make him as peaceful and like cover him with the cloth.
It's a nice gesture, yeah. It's a nice
Okay.
gesture.
I just
Yeah.
dropped a note on him. And then it just says, my name is Patrick, crossed out Fast Hands.
I live in crossed out.
This is just Patrick.
My name is
Oh
Patrick.
no.
No, this is Patrick.
And to be clear, you're putting the note on him, not in a visible spot.
Like, I want to put it on him. Yeah.
I made a note saying Glimki wants to write a note to deliver to a guard or at some point, but not immediately. But
That's a better idea.
Yeah, but just let someone know. I don't want to like bring his body
Yeah.
anywhere.
I
so.
feel like whoever finds his body having his name would help them find his family. So
yeah, it says I am Patrick
yeah,
on it now. We're good.
I'm Patrick. Not Fast Hands. And so now they know his name is Patrick. So that's fine.
Jeez, well,
Uh,
what the heck do we do now?
I guess we go back to the other ones and get the information we were promised.
yeah, I think we need to find Una and
This went from kidnapping to a murder, and if we're not careful, or if your friends aren't careful, there may be some more. It's seeming to me like perhaps these people who may have hired you are trying to tie up some loose ends.
I think that's why we need to go back to let them know what happened to Patrick and get that
Yeah.
information.
Agreed. And how much time do we have till Nova?
It's probably nearing 3 a.m. It's getting pretty late.
Okay.
You've been out for quite some while.
There's time to go back though, right? You just
Yeah,
head straight back.
we should go back then.
Are you rushing? Or are you just like kind of making like
I mean, at
A brisk
this point,
pace.
there's no reason for us to hide at all at this point, right?
you're
Yeah.
some of you are residents of the city. There's nothing, you're not prohibited from walking the streets at night.
Guess we just head back. But also like Clay is like on edge, like she's looking out for if anyone's following her the same way.
Give me a perception roll.
I got a 7.
7.
Woof.
Perhaps if you were less agitated, you would have seen a little rat scurry into an alleyway.
Oh no!
And then kind of a second later, a man with some like gleaming yellow eyes would walk out of the same alley. But you don't see that. You instead hurry through the streets of Erdenine back to the Copper District. The ground beneath you goes from smooth cobblestone to thick dirt that there's the clouds kind of start to roll in overhead and a bit of drizzle starts to pour. The ground starts to turn to mud beneath you, and you navigate the familiar streets of the Copper District back to the hideout. And you can immediately tell that something has changed. The door with this peeling paint has been knocked off its hinges, just completely caved in.
No.
Shit.
When I see that the door is open, I like run.
No, Clay, wait.
I'm like, no. I go in.
Clay, you rush in, and inside is just a scene of absolute carnage. You feel a dripping, and you look up and you see a pair of legs sticking out of the ceiling. And a second later, they kind of topple down. They kind of break free of the rafters, and you see that there is no body attached to these legs. You look across, and you see kind of just smashed into the wall with the liquor cabinets is the upper torso of Riggs. He's been torn in half, pieces of just like viscera and guts hanging out of him. You look around, and you see that next to the bar is a trap door, and you see Una is kind of reaching towards it. In one hand is a glass orb, a thing she often used to channel her magic. She's kind of lying on her back, and you see that there's just a gaping hole in her chest, and you can barely see a little bit of movement as she breathes one of her last breaths.
Can I quickly go up and cast healing?
Yeah.
Stabilize her quick.
I also have some healing if I can run in.
You run up. Glimki, you lay on hands. Clay, you cast Cure Wounds. And you watch as the magic tries to take hold, and it tries to weave the skin and the broken bones back together. And it's like trying to build a bridge across a gap without enough support. There's just not enough of her left to bring her back. And she looks up at you, eyes wide open, and she kind of coughs up a bit of blood and says, "He knows about you." And for the first time since you've known her, Una blinks, and her eyes don't open again.
No.
And that is where we will end tonight's session.
Oh my god.
God damn it.
Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. I'm not sleepy, and there is no place I'm going to. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. In the jingle jangle morning I'll come following you.
Oof. Ouch. That hurt. Haha, just kidding. It's me, your Dungeon Master, Zach Meikle. Not your Dungeon Master, the Dungeon Master for this group, Bard Soup. Thanks so much for listening to episode 3. As always, my name is Zach Meikle. I am the Dungeon Master and Editor for this group. I am joined by Prima Zhao as Clay Campbell, Shannon Meikle as Faunalyn Vaydark, and Jordan Johnsen as Glimki Treefellow. New episodes are going to drop every 2 weeks. I know I said every 1 week in the past, and some people got mad at me. Only every 2 weeks. Whoops, my bad. But in the meantime, thank you so much to everyone who's left a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. We really appreciate it. We're going to try and keep this thing going for as long as we can and keep telling this story. In the meantime, you can find us at bard_soup on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. I want to extend a very special thank you to Alija Kajan for letting us use his cover of Mr. Tambourine Man this episode. If you want to check out more of his music, you can find him on YouTube. We have included a link in the description, so check that out and give him a follow. In the meantime, we'll see you in 2 weeks, and until then, watch where you're walking. Bye-bye.
To be wandering. I'm ready to go anywhere. I'm ready for to fade into my own parade. Cast your dancing spell my way. I promise to go.